JRPG fans alike, we have an exclusive opportunity for you to dive into the world of Atlus, because we just sat down with the man behind JRPG classics like Persona and Shin Megami Tensei, Naoto Hiraoka, the senior managing director and executive producer at Atlus, was at PGDX 2024 to discuss their upcoming games, some behind the scenes details, and the future of Atlus as a company. So grab a seat and have a listen. We started off with the biggest news, which is Atlus's first major IP in almost more than a decade, called Metaphor ReFantazio. Speaking of which, we took a look at the gameplay and combat by the way, so check it out by clicking on the top right corner. With such a major addition to Atlus's IPs, we were curious to know the reasons why would they develop one right now. Hiraoka explained that Atlus has always been known for their RPGs, but we've wanted to take on the fantasy RPG genre for a long time. He believes that the timing for this new IP is perfect, especially due to the positive reception and success of Persona 5. This time, a newly established team will be taking on Metaphor called Studio Zero. We asked why the production of a new title was entrusted to a new development team. He mentions that Metaphor is a new IP and a new challenge, so we felt there should also be a new studio taking on this challenge. Despite being a new team though, not all the members are new. Hiraoka revealed that a few of Persona's development team are actually also in Studio Zero, so I think we can rest assured that the game is in good hands. We don't expect this to be the last Metaphor game though, so we asked him about their plans for this new IP. Hiraoka says that he sees Metaphor as a potential new pillar for Atlus, alongside the Persona and Shin Megami Tensei series. So they'll be creating Metaphor with all of their resources and thinking of this as one of their great works. This wasn't the first time we've seen Metaphor though. At Atlus Fest, Anime Expo, and PGDX 2024, they released a few playtests of the game, which again by the way, we made a video on. Since then, the team has been receiving feedback from players, so we asked them how the responses are so far. As expected, from our own gameplay as well, the response has been overwhelmingly positive, specifically on the BGM, the UI, and the story. Aside from that, the combat received the most praise for its battle system, where players have responded very positively to the ability to finish off weak enemies directly in the field, without needing to enter a separate command battle system. This also won't be the last time that we'll see Metaphor. Atlus will continue to showcase the game at various events, as part of their strategy to build anticipation for its release and to gather feedback for the game. Metaphor ReFantazio will release on October 11th, 2024, and it is confirmed to be a global release. Atlus has been adopting the strategy of simultaneous global releases recently, and they're continuing it with Metaphor. Hiraoka says that the response from players to simultaneous global releases has been very positive. But as expected, this additional effort has proven to be difficult, as coordinating between different regions for marketing and promotion presents a significant challenge. Since this interview took place in the Philippines, we wanted to know if Atlus had any plans for expanding into the Southeast Asian region. He mentioned that there's no particular country we're targeting to penetrate, but they are aware of the expanding industry within Asia, so they'll make it a point to account for multiple countries rather than focusing on a single market. Speaking of which, they plan to have a world tour, where after their stop at the Philippines, they intend to visit other countries as part of their promotional efforts. Aside from their games, we asked a little bit more about Atlus, the company itself. Recently, many companies have been laying off their employees or just cutting their salaries. But the opposite seems to be happening at Atlus, where they've actually increased their employees' annual salaries by 15%. So we wanted to know why and how they were able to do this despite recent events like, COVID. Hiraoka elaborated that their focus has always been on creating high-quality products, with player satisfaction being their top priority. So, by keeping their employees happy, they make better games, and better games make people happy, which is just great news for everyone. Besides just making high-quality games, he also highlighted the importance of their IP strategy, where it's not just the games, but of course, it's multi-use and mixed media applications. So what could this mean? Well, basically, they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. An example would be Persona 5. Beyond that, Atlus has developed an action RPG version called Persona 5 Strikers, and then a strategy game called Persona 5 Tactica. Hiraoka explains that this is because the main JRPG game might not appeal to everyone, but the broader potential of the IP could attract fans of other genres, hence the action RPG and strategy version of Persona 5. Creating media beyond the game is also part of the strategy as well, where animations, mangas, live actions, or movies have been explored to further grow the world that they've created, and this is something that they are very excited to dive into. Another strategy was their decade-long partnership with SEGA. We asked him how this partnership helped to evolve Atlus to where it is today, and he mentions that their experience with SEGA has been highly beneficial. While Atlus leveraged its expertise in localization and cultural adaptation, SEGA has contributed valuable knowledge in areas like Steam and PC platforms, as well as marketing strategies across the United States, Asia, and Europe, which can be seen as part of their global release efforts. So if anything, this will lead to much better games in the future. And that's all we asked about Atlus and their new IP. We gave Hiraoka one final open question, if he would like to say anything to all the Atlus fans out there. Hiraoka said that it was his first time at PGDX, and he was deeply moved by the passion of the fans. He hopes that fans will continue to support Atlus, and that future experiences will be as meaningful as this one. Atlus has been on a roll this year, with Persona 3 Reload in February, Vengeance in June, and soon enough, Metaphor ReFantazio in October. So, are you excited for what Atlus is cooking? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for future exclusive interviews just like this one.